Do you have one you can leave for Clay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Don't want him to feel left out.
Mm-mm.
You know, he's goofing off and we're working. Well, go ahead, guys, whatever you
All right,
like to tell us.
we're here on behalf of the Stafford County Conservation District and our budget wishes. So I was providing you some handouts and you can see what the county appropriation was in 11, 12, and what we're proposing in 13, and it stayed the same. I know you guys are trying to hold the line on everything, and we're trying to do the same. Our state matching funds is going to get cut, $10,860.
That's under the NPS
And then the
funding.
NPS funding, so we won't be able to do
As much septic.
septic systems and that kind of stuff. We just have to cut back on that.
So that wouldn't include in this budget anyhow, the last 2 years, that part, Jesus, that's just additional.
That's from the state.
There is a handout, under the third page that, or maybe, no, okay. It just talked about our cut that we're gonna be getting on our NPS funding and our water resource funding. Under the water resource funding, which we do our windbreaks, solar pumps and wells, we're gonna be reduced by $7,700. So we're not gonna be doing as many windbreaks, solar pumps and tanks. Everybody got cut across the board. The NPS funding, which is our septic system, got cut the most. So we'll just have to work with what we've got.
But how much are you saying you get for those septic systems? How much are you getting for?
To put one in,
Yeah.
I've seen them go anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000.
So that's what the support that the person put in, he would get from you.
Yeah,
Probably savings.
Go ahead.
yeah.
We've done a lot of them in the county that needed updated, weren't very sanitary.
And if you look at this graph, it shows what our cost shares have been over the past several years, how much they've gone up and down on our number of contracts.
What does NPS mean?
NPS is non-point funding source, which is where we can do like our septic systems. And we can also do, this year we're gonna be including solar pumps and wells. We can do like Golden Belt, a livestock facility. There are certain practices that we can do under that to help them. We can do some range planting. You know,
Where does that money come
it comes from the state general fund, from the water fund.
from? It's from the water fund, and why is there less money in that then? That doesn't make sense.
The legislature, they cut all the money back.
Statewide on
They-
that. One thing that is helping us a little bit is tarp, the barrier, I don't know if you see that. We did get quite a few more trees planted last year, so that was up. But this year, that may be going the other way. If we don't give as many shelter belts, so.
The tops, that's the number of trees up there?
It's feet of weed.
Feet of weed barrier,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, weed barriers, see that?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the length of the tree rows.
So that's with all the people that have planted windbreaks, that's just kind of a rough estimate.
So just basically what it boils down to is you have so much money that money on Jack's projects.
We'll have more applied than what we can fund, and we have a point system we go on, and they can reapply next year. Or
Sure.
try to get into some other program.
And we are gonna have applications where they aren't gonna be funded because we just don't have the money this year.
We're hoping that a disaster deal will help, because that tornado took out an awful lot of windmills in the county. We're hoping the FSA can pick up some of that, and because we'll never be able to fund all of them. They've got tore up, replacing with solar pumps or stuff. I don't think they know for sure where they're at, it's just the sign. We also brought you our annual meeting program, just you kind of see what they've been doing. So, if you get some spare time, if you want to look through it.
Okay.
One of the things this year at the county fair again, I don't know if you were over there last year, but we had a soil tunnel trailer, and we're gonna have it there again this year.
Okay.
So that will be at our county fair. One of our educational programs that we do for the fourth graders is for Arbor Day. The Conservation District sponsors trees from Nebraska. This year we had Norway spruce. We distributed trees to the students, talked to them about Arbor Day and everything. And this year, Julia Sterling Morton, who was the founder of Arbor Day, made a presentation at.
I see that trade in the paper.
Yeah.
We should have had a contest to see if anybody could guess who that was.
These students, I mean, they really enjoyed it. Yeah, they had.
Oh, little, and then you got a skeleton on the side. I'm not quite sure this is.
Well,
How old were these
that was
students?
the classroom. But I
That's
had
a
to
little
portray
creepy.
100
I can see my kindergartner coming home pretty traumatized.
So, but that's one of our educational promotions that we do, that the Conservation District sponsors. Well, I was getting kind of tired of just, standing up
Oh,
there.
that's
and
really
talking about
cute.
it.
That was so dressed up.
That was pretty cute, really, but I don't know. That with the skeletons.
Oh, that's the classroom.
Well, you're right.
Not part of the act.
Part of
It wasn't
that.
part of the act.
No.
If you guys have any questions about anything?
It's like, same as it was last year, that's
We're
that's
just
great.
trying to-
Yeah.
That will be mine.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that very much.
Because we do know that some of the conservation districts are gonna be cut. And at our meetings, they've talked about possibly more of the conservation districts going out on their own, whereas we are co-located within our CS.
Which is confusing to me, and I'm sure other people, because
Yeah, and if we have to go
We're
out
not
on
the
our
same.
own, we're
Right.
looking at more expenses.
you guys are backed by K-State. Is that your parent? Or are you just,
No.
you're
No.
an entirely
State
your own
conservation.
entity?
Okay,
Conservation District.
yeah.
Okay, so, and it has nothing to do with Kansas State or the extension office or
The
anything?
only thing that we get, that's where we order our trees from.
Yeah,
That's the only,
that's the Forest Service through K-State.
so, yeah.
But as far as funding, it's mainly through the state Division of Conservation is my main office, the state office.
I see,
And they are under the Department of Ag.
exactly. Okay, I'm glad I got that clear in my head. You don't really get any federal funding.
Not federal,
And
no.
of course, USDA programs are not part of your program either.
No. No.
Gotcha. All right.
And if you have any other questions after you review everything,
No.
just let us know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Next, have a good day.
Yeah, me too.
Hi there.
Morning.
It's time for our annual noxious weed management plan. It's due always the 1st of June to the Department of Agriculture. Basically just an overview of our program. Every year we go through and just update kind of what we do.
Just the front page. I just wanted to see the title.
That's where.
That's
I want to read it
I
too.
just wanted the title. With me, I do not want to read it. Okay.
None taken, trust me.
Oh,
Reading now.
I have over 5,000 acre noxious weeds in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's
Quarry Crest.
You're taking-
Quarry Crest, I'm trying to.
Corey Crest, they call it white top. We actually had a couple places about as big as this table in the county, and we haven't had them for years now. It was just where it looked like a combine pulled in to the south, the side of the road and cleaned out.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
just was there.
Yeah.
And Cleveland found it years ago and we kept treating it and we had.
That's probably where a lot of it comes from.
That's just what I was.
Well, that's, they used to be really good on the,
Have to make sure they
on the
clean it out.
borders, yeah, because they had the stops that they had to stop and clean all out and they don't really do that anymore on
At all.
the ports, yeah. You know, they don't even know if they have to stop the ports coming in from like Oklahoma.
Okay, we need approval of this plan then, I guess. So I'll make a motion, we approve the Stafford County Noxious Weed Department 2012 Noxious Weed Management Plan.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded, we accept this plan, all in favor, say aye. Approved.
There's a place on the back page for both of you to sign.
Yes, there was. So, get to it. What is it today, 5? Now, what you look
No, you look at it, thank you.
at. Read it. You need to
I
know that
read
information.
those for about 15 years.
She did. She probably used to type that.
I did used to type it. That's not good.
No.
But we need
Do you need clay on there?
a
Just do that.
signature.
That's-
Okay.
You can be held liable for it, so that's all right.
There you go.
Here,
Other than that, you guys have any questions?
Not really, at this point.
Well, I was tickled with our chemical mow this spring. We did on all the county roads. As you can tell right with the, where the cheat came up, you can tell right to where we stopped the mow. Where it was, so.
So it kept it cheap?
Very much so. That's, I had, Reno County wouldn't let him spray this year, his, and right of ways are just full of cheat, so. I was
What's it
tickled
called,
with that.
chemical?
I call it chemical mow, it's a,
What did you use?
Can you buy it, individual buy it or what?
well, no, it's, what it is, it's a
Just for?
mix, it's a mix of glyphosate, which is Roundup, dicamba, which is like a Vanville, and then Arsenal, which is a more residual, and just a light rate of that goes over, and it tries to kill the cheat, and then it knocks back the cool season grasses, to give the warm season grasses a chance to grow, and it burns back some of the broadleaf, not, you know, not for a long time, but it just lets the warmer season grasses grow. And I think it saved this year we've saved the county at least one mowing. I know they didn't have to start till a little later, so
That's great.
we were tickled with that, so.
You doing that for the townships at all? Have any of them?
I've had several calls this spring about doing that, and normally it's just hard to get that when you get the county in the spring to try and, before I start my noxious weed. I do put atrazine down in the fall for townships to try and get the rye and cheat and wheat, you know.
I think North Surrey must have done it.
They did it this fall.
At least on my, where I have farm ground. 'cause
Yeah, yeah,
My wheat all day.
yeah, that's the right of way.
Well, no,
yes,
it's close,
the
it's a right
of way.
away. I mean,
But yeah,
That's fine.
I've had several townships.
Well, it's,
In
you
county
know,
water.
I know in South Surrey, we talked about spraying, and it's, the liability is ridiculous, especially with some of
You
the,
have to.
some of the help that's hired.
Well, you have to be careful with, especially if you're doing anything in the springs with
It's just,
with the
you know,
sensibility of the.
It seems like a really good idea, and then you go, I'm not turning this guy loose with Roundup, he'll kill everything.
Well, in Roundup, it's not
But you
real
just don't have
volatile,
the
you
manpower to
careful.
do this for them, do you?
Oh, no. I did have one approach me, that they would talk to you guys about maybe, seasonal help and another vehicle, and we could do,
Well, I think that'd be worth exploring,
so.
but it would have to come from the townships rather than us, wouldn't you agree, JD? I mean, I would be in favor of it.
And it's still, it's,
But that, so that would entail seasonal help and another vehicle, is what you're saying, and then they would be able to go out and work for the townships.
well, would be under auspices of the county, but we could contract out to the townships, is what we do now. And so, like I say, you know, I do have more time in the fall, so I have been spraying, like I say, atrazine in the fall. How long that will last, I don't know, because every year atrazine comes under scrutiny, you know, as far
Yeah,
as.
yeah, absolutely.
And
Do
so,
you charge the township by the mile or what, or
by the hour.
by the hour?
Yeah.
If we had something like, we could pass the cost on through that, you know, if the county got something under
Yeah.
his jurisdiction, pass the cost on into.
But the idea is that it's somebody that knows what they're doing and
Right.
and controlled by somebody that knows what they're doing.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying,
That-
have him be the person to
Yeah.
be responsible for it.
And one township, you know, doesn't have to bear all the expensive equipment that way, the
Right.
equipment's shared throughout the county. I think that's something definitely worth exploring.
Good too.
I think it'd be a very good solution. Because, well, like in South Surge, you can't mow, you got all the weed, the trees come, if you do build a ditch, the trees grow up in it, and it's just, but the idea of turning somebody loose with a sprayer and a chemical that can kill everything that their neighbors tried to graze, it's scary, it really is.
And, you know, like I say, with the sensitivity of soybeans and stuff, you have to be careful with your phenoxys, your 2,4-Ds, stuff like that.
There's a lot of
And
things
it's,
can
it's
go
all
wrong in a
conditions, I
hurry.
mean, and it is, it's
Right,
all
yeah.
on
You
conditions.
Kill one person's fruit tree and then you're all of a sudden, whew.
It's amazing, yeah, yeah.
Amazing how valuable that tree is.
Well, it's amazing, yeah, they can see you drive by and all of a sudden something had died 2 weeks ago, but they see you drive by, it's like, hey.
Believe me, I know.
All right, well,
Thanks, Ron.
thank you.
Thank you.
What we got?
That's about it, isn't it?
We need to talk about next week's meeting.
Yes.
I think that sounds all right to me.
Just meet on June 1st and then skip that next week of the 4th. Because when I
Sounds
got
like
to
it.
looking at it, we could potentially have 3 meetings in a week. And we don't need to do that.
We are on the 21st, so we're not gonna have a meeting on the
Well-
28th.
We're closed the 28th.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can have checks ready the 29th because payday is the 1st.
Okay,
So my suggestion is we have a meeting on the 1st, and there's no reason for you to turn around and come on the 4th.
Monday doesn't do that.
have a
I'm
meeting,
gonna be
have a
gone.
meeting on a Friday.
Right, have payday and your meeting for the next 2 weeks, basically, on that day, because I'll be gone Monday, Tuesday, 4th and 5th to some training in Hayes.
First day of harvest, you wanna have a meeting.
Well, is that gonna be June 1st?
For me, they'll be harvesting before then around here.
Well, I mean, it's up to you, I mean,
No, I think that's way better than having
Well, we got
3
to
meetings.
be
Two
in,
meetings
gotta
in
be in
one
the
day.
house.
I gotta be here anyhow, you gotta do that,
yeah,
right?
so that's why I thought, let's just do it on the
Yeah,
1st.
we're all gonna have to be here anyhow.
I'll tell department heads this week so they will know for the next 2 weeks, they've got one shot to meet with you. We'll post the notices, we'll
Okay.
tell the TV, da-da-da. I mean, that's just my suggestion.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
We'll be on Friday and back on Monday anyhow.
That's
Our
it.
business can
And
be
there's-
done on Friday.
So we're gonna be here Friday, we won't have to worry about Tuesday, we won't have to worry
Friday,
about
June
next Monday.
1st. Right,
That's wonderful, I
Okay.
love that.
Okay.
Idea.
cool.
Great, good
Alright.
thinking.
And I've got some
Good.
tax corrections.
Okay.
Here are your folders for your
Okay.
budget requests.
Oh, good, we will follow up another one.
Yes.
All right. Payroll. These are corrections.
I believe so. I think they're on oil, aren't they?
That's great.
And like I said, I had the extension office down for 9 o'clock, but they canceled. So, mark that off. That's all I have.
Let's see. So, what is this right here?
It came in the mail.
Oh, okay. So I just put this whole thing in. All right, so.
Okay, I make a motion we approve these tax roll corrections.
I second the motion. moved and seconded. We approve these tax roll corrections. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Let's recess, I guess. You done?
Yes.
Let's recess just for a little bit.
All right. Well, I don't know, I didn't, Clayton's gone today. We can discuss everything and you guys want to wait a week, whatever, but. Okay, we've been kind of waiting till I got a price quote from Postal Presort about tax statements before we decided about making a decision on the postage machine and also like my copy machine that I'm wanting, because if we use Postal Presort, you understand the logic, we probably don't need as big of a copy machine. We don't need as big of a workforce. And as far as the postage machine, I think we could, it's really not up to me, but, because I'm not the only office that uses it, but I kind of think we could go down a level on a postage machine, but we might be smart just to maintain the same level too. So it really doesn't matter. What do you think about that, Nita?
I don't have enough mail that goes through there.
The only other office
I
that,
think you and Carl are the ones that
Yeah.
need to make the choice. I mean, the rest of us are piddly compared to you guys.
right. So I don't know, that's a toss-up, that kind of just be your guys' decision, what you think. In some ways, I think we could do a smaller postage machine, but then it's, you know, we do send out like delinquent notices, and Carl sends out valuation notices. So there is a few things that we do have, you know, spurts of big mail, so that's just something to consider. But anyway, so let's start with Postal Presort. I did a worksheet. This is what it basically costs the county for us to do the tax statements a year, about $7,800. I didn't make copies for everybody, I'm sorry. And then down here is approximate, this is an estimate from Postal Presort, $5,700 for doing outsourcing tax statements. The advantage of outsourcing is we don't have the stress of having to sit there and,
How much is Postal Presort?
just about $5,800. And that's just an estimate.
Yeah, okay.
We have it down really good. We can get tax statements out usually within a week. But it is a pretty labor intensive, and you always are stressed trying to wait on the customers, trying to get tax statements out. So it helps with the fatigue part of that, sitting there and doing stuff in them envelopes all the time. I usually don't have to have overtime when we do tax statements. I have had one or two times, but usually that's not an issue. So there's that. Then copy machine.
I'll just do copies. We'll need to make copies for what? Unless you're going to sign on today.
I had a price quote from OPI. This was last year, just so I could kind of budget for it this year. So the price quote may be different, but last year it was $10,460, and that's a copy machine comparable to what I have now. But that may be there may be a $500 difference in that this year. And then a copy machine like what Carl has is $6,700. So, you're looking at almost $4,000 savings.
And the difference is just capacity.
Yeah, if I'm printing tax statements and stuff, I gotta have a workhorse copy machine, so it will print them out faster, and So that's the only difference if we have a workhorse. But to me, postal pre-sort is kind of a toss-up. It looks like to me it saves us a little bit of money, but it's really potato. Just a matter of preference.
How are they for accuracy? Are they having problems? Anybody, have we talked to, did you talk to any counties? or
Yeah, there's lots of counties that have,
Postal pre-sort?
yeah, they have lots of good references and.
Which one's close to us, our size has?
I don't have that. I'd have to go down and get the.
That's right,
the
just wait
folder.
till he gets
I
back.
don't know. I can't tell you. But they also run all the addresses through the national change of addresses, and they update those first before they even mail them. So that is really a big plus. Then they send us a list of the changed addresses so we can change them in our system also. So, you know, that's not anything I can do unless people give us the notice. So in that sense, that would cut down on a lot of return mail, because we get a lot of return mail, then we gotta find a new address, and then we have to remail the tax statement. And they're able to go on the front end, run it through the post office, national change of address, and update all those records first before they even mail them.
How long does this copy machine last?
This one has been 4 years.
Do we get,
Or
do we
5
buy it
years.
with a service agreement, or do we
Yeah.
just purchase the machine? Do we actually own it? How does that work?
No, just a service agreement.
We own the machine, you own the machine, but you just have a service contract with them.
Right, right.
So we actually own it.
For them to come and service it, they'll have to pay for it.
Right.
How much is the annual service contract?
It's just, I pay per page, a copy.
Just for copy, so much per copy.
For however many copies I make is what I pay. I do have a 3,000 minimum copy a month, but I usually don't have any problem hitting that, so.
So you think that the outsourcing the tax things would be, it's kind of a break even. The savings we might realize is from a smaller copy machine and a smaller postage machine.
Right. But it does save us a little bit of money, 5,700 versus 7,700. I mean, that is a couple thousand. But this is just an estimate too. I mean, you might, to be conservative, you should add probably another 500 to that. So, and that's all the supplies, you know, the tax state. I don't have to worry about ordering envelopes. I don't have to worry about ordering tax statements. I don't have to worry about, you know, that they provide all that. That's everything included. So, but yeah, to me, it's a toss
Not a
up.
wash.
Yeah, it's an even wash. But the good part about it is that it would help relieve some of the stress off of us when we're trying to give tax statements out in November, and the, you know, sitting there stuffing them envelopes, that's another plus. And then the address changes, doing that on the front side of mailing them out saves a lot of money versus like when we do it, we mail them out, but we get a slug of return mail, and then we're remailing them, paying more postage again. So that's another savings too. It's not even computed into that really.
Oh, okay. Miss Nita? Hi.
Well, I assume Clayton was here.
Yeah.
Okay, wait till next week. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So I can get a list of references for you.
Yeah, I'd like to see what.
Just one or two's enough.
I mean, yeah, in our-
Somebody close.
Our size
Sure.
of county, I mean,
Our
first thing,
size of
Edwards
county,
County or
yeah.
Pawnee County or.
Do you even want to look at the postage machine stuff again, or just wait till Clayton comes back?
Just wait till you
Tuck it down. I just,
References.
Well, we're gonna have to
of
set up a
county
separate fund for
sources.
that according to our auditors. Right, just, as I understood it, to receive it and ship it out to them.
Get your graduation done.
Yes. Busy weekend.
Right,
Why didn't we get
and
out
that's
there
what
this
we were
morning?
told to do.
That's not, I should have taken off today to take a day to recoup and,
Why, you didn't graduate, why was it so hard on you?
we had graduation Friday.
Yeah, if you
night,
get it to me
graduation
within the next 20
Saturday night,
minutes,
and
I'll make
graduation
a stay here
last
and act
night.
on it.
Well, you only do it once.
That's right, so we just partied.
Does
all
this
weekend.
resolution have to be published? Okay.
Yeah, we, that front that came through was just perfect timing. By the time graduation was over, we went home. And it was a beautiful evening at our house, and I was so worried about the weather.
Get any rain at all?
Just enough to settle the dust.
Well,
Probably
he
like
can
you,
do,
did
or
you
we
get
can
any?
take him up there, he can sign them.
Yeah, it did settle the dust.
Yeah, just enough to settle the dust, make it a nice evening, so it wasn't windy and
Yeah.
with
Okay.
everybody out.
And I assume you'll need a copy of this signed resolution back.
Something's happening.
Okay. 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 All right. Yep. Bye.
Okay, update on our motor vehicle. It's going real slow. And there's times, you'll be doing your transaction and you just get kicked out. So it's still touch and go. People, for the most part, have still been pretty patient, but it is frustrating to not be able to service our people. And that, so we're still working on that. I'm just thankful that we're a small county. Right now, if I was in a big county, I do not know what I would do. I mean, like I said, we're about the same as last week. We're a little bit behind, but we're at least able to kind of happily keep up. But these big counties, I have no idea what they're doing. I did have to shut down our IRP a little bit because we've been so busy with IRP. We had one person come in with 17 titles one day. Well, 17 titles for us takes one girl a whole day to do. And I can't have staff do an IRP when we need to be. So I limited IRP to 5 titles maximum, and they gotta be here by noon. So that'll give us enough time to get it done by 5 o'clock. So we cut that down a little bit. I'm hoping that'll just be a temporary thing, but that's one thing I could adjust to help us to service our until that gets going and speeding up more. So that's about that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Everything you want to tell us?
In 20 minutes, we're supposed to have our resolution.
Okay.
Have our what?
No fund resolution.
Oh, okay.
Let's recess, Ron.
Let's see.
I just had a couple of things that I wanted to inform you about. One is that we have advertised for a part-time position in economic development. This person would be billed as assistant director and program officer. So it would help a lot with a lot of the, especially the electronic communication side of things. We've purchased a subscription to a database to manage economic development work. We need to populate that database, so there's a lot of electronic information handling that this person will be responsible for, and then as we get, hopefully, we have enough to, maintain the position regardless, but if we are approved for various grants and the projects that they fund, that person would likely have a big role in carrying out some of those projects. So, just wanted to get it one more place in the public that people might know that they can inquire about that.
Okay. This is part-time job.
It's part-time.
How many hours a week?
I suppose it could be negotiable, but I think we can support about 20 for sure. If the right person wants growth, that's probably a very doable situation. The other thing is that we're organizing a bus trip to the city of Atwood, which is a city that, Rawlins County has participated in some of the same types of programs that we have, but starting 10 years ago, and have had some success in turning around some of the baseline indicators, especially school enrollment. And there was some interest in going and talking with them about the things that they've done in their school system, some of the businesses and so forth. And so we have a charter bus scheduled to go on June 28th. And it's open to, we'll be talking with people around the county and trying to target people with some involvement currently, but if there's anybody generally that is interested in going, they're welcome to contact the Economic Development Office to sign up for that. It's free.
June when is that?
June 28th. So we actually got some additional funding from Kansas Farm Bureau Foundation to help pay for that. So that'll cover the charter bus and the meals. But it'll be a long day. It's a 4-hour drive up there, so we're looking at a 12, 13-hour day to do it. But I think it'll be fun. We'll have, on the bus, we'll have some of the folks that have, from an outside perspective, been involved in coaching Atwood, kind of giving the background and kind of an orientation to what you'll see when you get there. Then once we're there, we'll have lunch, tour about 3 different locations, in addition to hearing from the school leaders before coming home.
So have you got certain people that you've invited or are expecting to come? Is this just open to the public entirely, or what's your?
Well, kind of the idea kind of came from Stafford School. I was on a panel with Mary Jo Taylor, and she listened to some stories about Atwood, and she kind of focused or voiced the idea that wouldn't it be interesting to take a group there, so kind of built on that. So, and at the same time, Stafford City Council has been, I think, actively kind of looking for some direction and has been interested in doing something with outside consultants or something. They've had one group come and give a presentation to them. So there's some interest from that perspective. Started there, and from there I've talked with all 3 school districts and city councils. I have in my head, I think it'd be nice to not just focus on formal leaders, although that's important, but if you look at what some of the good that's kind of come from Atwood, it's from very informal sources. It's young people that just decided to start a business and they grew it by talking to some of their peers, come back and work for me, and they weren't necessarily elected or official positions of leadership. So I'd like to talk to, in fact, I went to Stafford's Chamber of Commerce, talked about this idea, kind of got a raise of hands of who would like to go. And that day there were 2 high school students that were there, and they both said that they would. So I'd like to kind of include some of those types in there. There's some people from the Rural Opportunity Zone participation. In fact, I think we have 2 more that have just moved here. With that, I'd like to try to target some of those. In fact, there's one, for example, Rural Opportunity Zone inquiry I got. The guy's got another year of school left, but he's interested in checking things out now. I'd like to try to include some folks like that in this.
Sure.
But generally,
How many people can this bus hold? How many buses are you taking, maybe?
one, I know, you have to talk to a lot of people before you get sometimes one to participate, but we'll be able to take 40 to 45. And if we had that many, it would be a success, so.
Absolutely. Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Back off. We're in. Let's no, we're gonna adjourn.